Hello Tubesters, it's Gav and welcome to another video. Today it's an unboxing stroke review of the Harry Potter miniature adventure game. This pack is the Order of the Phoenix. These are resin models and they are true 28mm scale, produced by Knight Models, as you can see. Now I'd like to send out a very big thank you. I've already spoke to him already, but this is from my Mara Mick. And he's kind enough to actually send this down as a Christmas present for me. He's slushy like that, that's just the way he is. So thanks a lot, Mick, I really do appreciate it. He knows I'm a huge Harry Potter fan. Yes, I am a member of Hufflepuff House, I'll go out there and say it, I don't care. And I've got the intention of painting most of the characters that Knight Models are producing. I'm not 100% sure if I'll get the game. I just don't have time for them, to be honest with you. When I say don't have time, I don't mean because I don't like them. I love painting, you know. So it might be a case that I just paint definitely I'll be painting the different figures for myself to put in my own cabinet, and I might do some to sell. So join me in a second, guys. We'll open the box and take a look what's inside. Right, guys, we'll have a quick look at the box, just to obviously see what's coming. Usual blister pack, you've seen them all before. It's telling us that there's 5 figures with Padfoot the dog, and some potion cards and some other cards. As usual, Gav hasn't got a clue. If it's not figures, I'm not really up on what's how you play these different games. Usual Mike Models, Knight Models even, comes with a chunk of foam and more or less like that. Now I'm not a huge fan of that way of packing, especially with resin. You know, it can't be always the strongest, and yeah, I would have preferred them, you know, to be packed a bit better, but that's how they do the Batman figures and everything else. So we're just going to empty this out on the back of this book here, because it's quite loose in there. I have already pre-looked at that, and I believe Mick has as well, so I can say up till now there isn't any broken pieces in there, which is unusual sometimes for the Knight Models resin. Right, we'll gently put everything to one side for the moment, let's not confuse the issue, and we'll have a quick look at these cards. This is Alistair Mad-Eye Moody, and I believe it's telling you what he can actually do. Oh, look at that, back of the card. I have seen some videos online saying these are quite thin cards. As you can see, this one's got a slight ding in it. Roughly what I expected. That's the same, I believe, for their Batman the miniature game type of things. I think if you put them in some plastic sleeves, you won't go wrong. Nymphadora Tonks. What I've really chuffed about with Mick getting me these are the different ranging colours I can paint. Kingsley Shacklebolt. Again, you've got, you know, mauves, purples, pinks, and then obviously you've got the really sedate browns for Sirius Black. You know, these are obviously, if you're taking it out of the films, which these are, you will find obviously Sirius is wearing different colours, usually muted dark tones, but so you don't necessarily have to go with the box art. Padfoot, Sirius Black's an animagus, which means obviously he can turn himself into a particular animal. In his case, it's a black dog, and it's called, his nickname is Padfoot when he's in that role. So there are your cards. Let's put those to one side. And these are the different spells, I believe, spell cards. I won't go into them all. Flipendo, Protego. So a lot of these you'll hear in the Harry Potter, obviously, games, and if you've got the books, you'll obviously see those. So yeah, there's your spell cards. They are fairly flimsy. People have been saying that they could do with being thicker. Again, for somebody who doesn't do a lot of gaming, is more of a painter, they seem alright to me. Yeah, they would they would soon get knocked about, but I'm sure you could put those in some plastic folders maybe, or laminate them yourselves. So there are your spell cards, but let's get on to the things that we're most interested in. He says, and he's about to show you some bases. You're not really going to be interested in bases, but they come with these pre-made bases. Let's take Mad Eye here, as he's fairly solid. Now your problem is with these bases, it's you either love them or you hate them. You know, you get people saying they don't like them at all, because obviously it's hard to get them to sit in properly, which means you've got to then green stuff your cobblestones over the top. Some people like to mount them on their own bases. We'll come to that slight problem in a minute. So while he's in our hands, let's have a look at Mad Eye Moody. Oh, sorry. As you can see, I can't remember the actors' names for any of these, but as you can see, I don't know if they do these on computer or what, but the facial details for Mad Eye is absolutely spot on. Let me get my little pointy stick, or as usual, it's disappeared. Here we go. On this one, I can't see. I don't know if it's worth going to go in any closer really, because you're getting a fairly good look, but can't see any particular problems with this guy. Obviously they cast them with arms or legs missing, torsos in half. It just depends, I suppose, on the casting process. Now your drawback if you're going to mount these on your own bases is obviously we like to pin them. Now Mad Eye here, he's fairly chunky, and obviously you've got a bit of mould lines in there which you'll just have to take off with a fine piece of sanding stick, but again nothing major at all. But yeah, going back to the pinning, they've got, obviously Mad Eye here's got quite chunky boots on, so you could probably just about get a pin in there and it wouldn't be too much problem. However, obviously a lot of them, which you'll see in a minute, especially the ladies, they've got a lot of tiny ankles and shoes and everything, because they are to absolute scale. So you're gonna struggle getting a pin in them. So I'm probably going to go with the leaving the tabs on and just see how we work around that. But yeah, when I first saw the mock-ups of these that Night Models put out about a year or so ago, I just fell in love with them. I just thought, you've got to paint these. But these are true scale, you know, compared to the Games Workshop type things, which, you know, which are like, what are they, 35mm, something like that, 30mm. These are fine, true scale, a bit like the and it's completely left me now, but it'll come back to me. But yeah, 28mm, so you might see them in the box and think, oh my life, what have I done to myself? So Mad Eye there, absolutely cracking sculpt. This is Nymphadora Tonks. Not 100% if that looks so much like the Nymphadora actress, but it's fine for me. As you can see how spindly things are. Sorry for my grubby fingernails. Now when I did the Red Hood figure, no, it wasn't, it was Flash in the Batman range that I painted a few months back, 6 months back. I only touched the hand and it fell off. Now this is your drawback with resin over plastic. Obviously they can get these ultra fine cuts in, you know, around the hands, but it will make parts weak. Now a lot of people have been saying they're not happy with the, you know, they're calling it the quality of the resin. Personally, I just think, again, we're talking fine scale. I mean, look at those hands, which means to obviously try and look after the resin bits around there. It's not easy, and they are, I will say, they are, or going on the Batman range, they are easy to break. Now here we go again with the thin ankles. There's nothing wrong with these at all, you know, as I say, it's in scale. It's just mean you will struggle getting a pin in there. Yes, you can get a tiny one in there, but I would imagine the stress on that ankle, although it's not showing it, you know, you might well lose that, as some people have put up videos and they have done. So what you do with these as well, they come on a separate, there's a leg again. Now again, people are saying how fragile these wands are. Well, they're resin and they're that size, so they're going to be fragile. How you go about that, I'll show you Sirius Black's wand in a minute, and we'll discuss that. But you know, if it survives, great. If it doesn't, you'll just have to come up with an idea to save it. But again, facial details, absolutely fantastic. The artist, the in-house artist, that whoever paints these is a true master. Kingsley Shacklebolt again. I think that's a decent likeness of Kingsley. Again, you've got a bit of stuff to clean off there. Again, you might just get away with pinning this guy. Again, you've got all the resin blocks here. Although if you're not going to take those off, it might not be a problem. Let's just see if this will come off with a bit of a... Yeah, that's fairly easy to clean off that. Yeah, it's just stuck on. So I've not hardly... Well, I don't even think I've seen a hole in any of this. Again, if you get yourself some flexible sanding sticks, get them from any of the model suppliers online. They'll stand you in good stead. Nice sharp scalpel as well, or modelling knife. But to be honest with you, I believe that most of this will come off with some sanding sticks. They're not massively expensive. Just go onto your somewhere like eModels and have a look at their sanding sticks, and they sell different products. So yeah, I mean, luckily with Kingsley here, his wand is actually cast to the side, which is going to be helpful. So yeah, that's Kingsley. Let's see, Padfoot. Padfoot comes in two halves. Again, slight bit of filling is going to be required there if you want that seam line to disappear. Maybe around the hindquarters. If you remember back to the films and the book, well, if you're into the books and that like myself, you know all this anyway. But if you're just a casual Harry Potter fan, when he's got the Marauders map, the Marauders are actually Sirius Black and James Potter. This is all Harry's dad. Lupin, Professor Lupin, and Peter Pettigrew, who plays Voldemort's devoted servant. Well, they all used to go around, because Lupin is a werewolf, and obviously he'd attack anybody when he's a werewolf, and he'll attack anybody in human form. They all managed to change themselves into different animals. So I believe James Potter was a stag. Sirius Black here was the big shaggy black dog. Pettigrew, unsurprisingly, was the rat. James Potter was a stag. So on the Marauders map, you'll see, I can't even get it in the right word, but Padfoot prongs and all the rest of it. But all the names are actually their little group called the Marauders, and when they used to go around with Lupin as a werewolf. A bit of useless information for you. When all you've come along to is actually see the figures. Now, Sirius Black is probably one of my favourite characters in the film. And I think that is an absolutely cracking face. Now that is Gary Oldman's face in the film, definitely. You stick his legs on like this, torso, whatever you want to call it. It's a lovely fit. Again, dainty little hands. Be careful if you've got to clear any flash off. Is there any? Might be a slight bit to go there. So be extremely careful with this resin. It will fracture, break. Now this is a problem here. Well, not a problem, but it's going to be... You've got a dirty great chunk of resin there, almost like a butcher's cleaver. And obviously his wand's attached. Now that, I doubt very much whether his wand's going to survive first contact with my saw or scalpel, but we shall see. But again, cracking details. So there you have it, guys. This is Knight Models Harry Potter Adventures miniature game, whatever you want to call it. and this is the Order of the Phoenix pack. They do the other professors in another pack. And obviously all the different Harry Potter characters. Sorry for tailing off there, I was just seeing if it was worth getting these in one last shot, but thank you very much for stopping by and taking a look. It's a bit of a ramble, I know, my videos usually are, so there's no point keep apologising for that, that's just how I do them. I hope you give these a go, because they are fantastic little sculpts. They will be challenging for you if you're a novice painter. They might frighten you, I understand that. All I can say is don't be put off. Every figure you do you'll get better at, so just if you fancy having these as either collector's items or for the actual game itself, then dig in there and have a go, get your brushes out and give them a go, because they will really reward you with a decent paint job on them. So thank you very much for stopping by and taking a look, guys. Thank you very, very much, Mick, for that present. It was really kind of you, and it'll give me something along with everything else to paint over the winter. So you take care of yourself, guys. Thanks for stopping by, and we'll catch each other soon on another vid.